네, 안녕하십니까. 박선영입니다.
Gentlemen, I am Park San-young. In the digital era, we are getting a lot of information from the internet and mobile devices. Without the internet connection, we may not live our life even a day. Internet is tremendously important in the modern society, but at the same time, large amount of faulty information is being generated from the internet. Indeed, this could be detrimental to children who cannot tell the differences between the cyber world versus reality. And so by talking to the next speaker, we will be able to get insights into how we can make the environment cleaner in the era of the internet. Let me give you Park Yoo-hyun of InfollutionZERO.
안녕하십니까?
And this is my daughter, Hyungyung. She's less than 2 years old. She's beautiful, isn't she? As you can see, she's already a smartphone addict. I try not to let her play with my phone, but, well, did you see her face when he actually turned around when she snatched the phone from me? I believe if you have children of your own, probably you have a similar experience. But you know what? This is just the beginning. She's now entering the digital world, her second reality. Do you know the average age that Korean children start using internet and video game? It's 3 years old. Amazingly early, long before even they read. Then, what does digital world actually mean to our children? So we asked 10 years old children to draw an image when they think about the internet. And this is one of the examples. It's horrible. But surprisingly, many children drew images like that. And what happened to them? What made them draw such horrible images? And this may be an answer. This is a clip from an online video game rated R. But for some reason, it is very popular among our elementary school children. It is very easy to access this type of rated R violent video game for our children. And that brings me why I'm here. Today, I want to talk to you about an environmental crisis. It's taking not in the physical environment, but in the digital environment. What is it? Infollution means information pollution. It includes all kinds of side effects of IT revolution. For example, the shallow thinking due to information overload that Nicholas Ka yesterday pointed out can be one form of infollution. But since I don't have the whole day today, I will focus on the open access to the obscene and violent materials in the internet. I believe these both are inseparable. They powerfully contaminate our children's minds and thoughts. The most frightening things about this type of infollution is that it can be viral and it can spread out simultaneously and uncontrollably because we are amazingly connected. We tend to think about the positive side of digital connectivity, of which there are many, but there is the negative side, that is infollution. And let's see how our digital world looks like. This is one of the top portals in Korea. And if you are a 10-year-old boy who likes to play a video game, what would you click? Of course, it's flash banner advertising a recently released MMORPG online game rated R. And this online gaming company smartly used a porn star as the main character. They even promoted her free porn movie online available for game users. If you're 10 years old, what would you do? Of course, you Google her, and this is what you get as a 10-year-old boy. And here is another example. This is a major website, freely accessible by our children. I'm not going to read them loud, but as you can see, they are pretty embarrassing. Let me give you some numbers. 90% of our children are first exposed to obscene materials before the age of 12. And these days, 30% of sexual crime offenders are currently age of 19. And 1/4 of them commits crime because they want to imitate the porn. And around half of our children have access and played a violent video game rated R. As a result, around 15% of our children are currently addicted to the internet and online game. Let me share my story. I'm very new to this nonprofit world. I studied biostatistics. I did PhD at Harvard. And then I worked as a consultant at the Boston Consulting Group. When I left my careers for zero-paying nonprofit work, everybody asked me why. Because I am a mother of 2 children. I love my children. I still vividly remember when my first son made a first eye contact with me and when he spoke his first words to me. These children are amazing. They amazingly observe the world around them. They become what they see, and they become what they hear. And I imagined, what if my children can accidentally come across and fall into these obscene and violent materials when they are not ready? The sites that I showed you are not third-rated porn sites. They are major websites in everyday use, even by our children. These days, our children do not have to search for porn, sex, or adult online game. They will find us, and they will find your children, and they will find my children. It's not difficult to imagine this obscenity and this violence can become part of our children's very inner self. So what can I do? Do I have any other choices? Of course, I decided, and I thought I need to do something about it. But what can I do? I wanted to start with the basic. I believe that the basic is that the major website that our children frequently visit should be free of Infollution. Is there anybody disagree with me? I didn't think so. So we conducted a quick survey recently, and 90% of survey responders agreed that openly accessible obscene and violent materials from major websites to be removed. But when they actually come across with this material, 72% people say that they are bothered, but they think that they cannot do anything about it. Or some people say they're too accustomed to it, whatever. And many people also even say that these obscene materials and violent materials are inevitable, and they're necessary evil for a website to survive and grab people's attention. Is it true? Seriously, influential sites like porn site, illegal porn sites are easy to handle, rather, because we can work with government to get rid of them. But when it comes to a major sites with influential contents, there is not even a law to prohibit them. So some people advise me that, why don't you give up? You cannot make any changes. It's the way it is. It's just a business, and it's unfortunate, but there's impossible to change. Let's not forget what we have done to our planet. For a long time, we constantly ignore the serious alarms about pollution in the name of economic growth. And convenient truth is that we screwed up our planet. And we are doing the same thing in our digital environment. This time, it's not only losing clean air or clean water. This time, we are losing our children and their inner selves. Well, we call our children our future, and we call ourselves the world leading IT power. If it is not us, then who? If it is not now, then when? I'd like to urge you just for a moment, please forget about business logic. Please forget technological advance. Please forget politics. And let's search our heart. I know you have heart for your children. I know you have heart for what is right. So let's bring it out. And speak your heart. Raise your voice for what you believe right. Let's stop saying it is not right, unfortunate, but inevitable. I think that is the only way we can build our green digital world. It is not money, it's not power, it's not politics that change our world. I think it is our sincere heart for our children, and your loud voice can change our world better. InfollutionZERO is not a system. It's not a software. It is a place for you to speak up for yourself, for your children, and for our digital future. We want to make sure that your voice should be heard and your voice should be viral because we are amazingly connected. Then how? Let's do InfollutionZERO. Let's do IZ. When you see trash, what do? You dump it into trash can. And when you see an Infollution site, what do? Please do not pass it anymore and trash it into the Infollution bin in the IZ site. And, well, I believe that it has to be the part of our digital habit so that it can be a first step to create our digital culture. It's going to be a simple way to say no to Infollution, and I think it will be very powerful when we collect our voices. When we garner enough Infollution, we're going to publish an index, Infollution index for websites and their parent companies. And then we're going to ask portals to deprioritize these Infollution sites when people do the search query. And moreover, more importantly, when this idea and this opinion becomes public consensus, will push for legislation to formally ban this type of Infollution. Is there Bright in the audience? Actually, yesterday, Bright told me a great idea. Let's hold the end of the year annual award for most Infollution sites. So I think that'll be fun. This is just the beginning. We'll go after all other types of Infollution, cyberbullying, false information, and more. And we will certainly go global. We'll fight for Infollution in Singapore, Japan, China, and the United States. I believe that our collective voice from all over the world will build our new green digital world. I'd like to close this talk by quoting my favorite line in the Hosseini's novel, A Thousand Splendid Suns. I believe all children are born with more than 1,000 suns within them. Your warm concern and your action for children will help uncover all of their radiance. So it's our turn. Let them shine. Shine with the bursting radiance of 1,000 splendid suns. Thank you.